Hello America, Tom Hand here with Americana Corner. Today we're discussing the Constitution of the United States. The opening phrase of the preamble, "We the people," spoke volumes regarding upon whose authority the Constitution rested and suggested the unanimity of country and purpose that this new Constitution would create. Article 1 explains that Congress shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives, and lists its numerous powers, including the power to lay and collect taxes, borrow money, regulate commerce, coin money, establish post offices, and raise and support armies, and provide and maintain a navy. The list goes on, and it is extensive. In a clear indication of where the delegates felt the bulk of the new powers created by the Constitution should reside, roughly half of all the words in the Constitution are found in Article 1. Article 2 creates an executive branch strong enough to compete with the legislature. The President shall have power, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, to make treaties. Importantly, Article 2 declares the President to be the Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, thereby imposing civilian control over the military. The amount of power vested in the executive branch was a point of great contention, and was influenced in no small measure by the comforting knowledge that George Washington would be the first man to fill this role. Article 3 creates our court system and vests power in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as a Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. Thus, Congress has a check on the size and extent of the judicial branch. However, the court is given the power to judge all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution. In other words, it can judge all laws passed by the legislature and signed by the executive, thus creating a check on both the legislative and executive branches. Article 4 explains how the various states will interact and cooperate with one another, and that the citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. Article 5 allows for amendments to the Constitution, thus providing flexibility for future generations to amend the Constitution as the need arises, but it requires any changes pass over a relatively high bar. Specifically, 2/3 of both houses shall propose amendments to this Constitution, and they must be ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states. Article 6 declares that the Constitution shall be the supreme law of the land. Article 7 explains that the ratification of the conventions of 9 states shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution. Delaware was the first state to ratify the Constitution. The Constitution of the United States was approved on September 17, 1787, and after ratification by the states, went into effect on March 4, 1789. The document is a 4,543-word masterpiece of political thought that has stood the test of time and is the longest standing written constitution in the world. Next week, we will discuss George Washington's first term as President of the United States. Until next time, may your love of country lead you.